Okay, my friends, so what we're going to do now is we're going to look at a coin. It's two sides, heads and tails. But I want you to watch the number of heads that we get as I repeatedly flip this coin. Just got 5, just got 6, 8, 3, 7, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 6, 2, 3, 6, 3. Have you noticed anything interesting? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. First thing you're noticing is you can either get heads or tails. I've set the coin up to be that way. But the number of heads is kind of weird, isn't it? Have you noticed that we have yet to get double digits? We haven't, have we? Let's look over here. There's the data. Now notice the data kind of looks like the shape of the fair coin that we looked at earlier in the lab. It's got this kind of hump and then a tail. So statisticians call these bell curves, and if you eventually take Math 243 or Math 105, you'll study these with us in those courses. But the high point of the curve is kind of not where it should be. Remember, it should be over here at 10. But it's only over here at 10, which we've only gotten 3 times, if the coin flips at 50-50. This coin clearly is not flipping at 50-50. It's flipping at less than 50-50. As a matter of fact, I'm keeping track of it over here. Let's let this run a little bit more. We're getting about 25% heads and about 75% tails, which hopefully makes sense, because if you look over here, you can see that the highest point of this graph, I gotta change the font size real quick. Give me one quick second here, friends. If we change the font size so you can see the highest point, yep, the highest bar is 5 heads out of 20. 5 out of 20 is 25%, which is why this puppy dog is flipping at about 25%. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try a different coin. Do not save that. Here's another unfair coin. The one we looked at earlier in the lab was a fair coin. I call it fair because it flips 2 things, heads or tails, but the fair part means that the heads and the tails happen at the same rate, 50% of the time each, hence 50-50. Let's flip this coin. 17 heads, 17 heads, 17 heads, 19 heads, 17 heads, 20 heads, 17, 17, 18, 19, 18. It doesn't take very long to realize there is something very interesting going on with this coin. This one, well, the last unfair coin we just saw was flipping at lower than 50-50. This one is clearly flipping higher than 50. Let's run it a few more times and see if we can figure out what. Looks like it might be flipping at 17 out of 20, which would be 85% of the time. Let's just go and see. Yep, 85% of the time. So that would be an 85-15 coin. The last one was a 25-75. I got one more. Let's see if we can figure this one out. Yeah, these were fun to build. I like testing my stat students with these. Kind of breaks their brain a little bit. All right, here we go. All right, same thing, 20 coins, 13 heads this time, 9 heads that time, 12, 14, 14, 10, 13, 9, 11, 11, 9, 14, 13, 11, 7, 11, 11, 9, 11, 13, 9. This is tough, huh? This is tough. Because notice we're flipping around 10, right? We've got some 7s and some 9s, but we've also got some 13s and 14s. So it feels to me, well, let's look at the data. Let's flip it some more. Let's make the font size smaller. Shrink it down a little bit. There we go. Let's see what happens. It looks like there's a spike at 11 where the old spike was at 10. So this one right here is close to 50-50. I'm going to guess it's a 55-45. What do I come up with? Look at that, 55-45. Ha-ha! Because of where the spike is right here. So the big takeaway is this. Lots of things are binomial. We'll define that in a second. But what it really means is 2 things can happen. Two. Lots of things in life are binomial. For example, I overslept today. I got up half an hour later than I should have. I'm either going to oversleep or I'm not going to oversleep. Generally speaking, I don't. It's not 50-50 because I don't oversleep half of the time. I oversleep rarely. I would say my oversleep rate is something like 595 or 199 or something like that. That's why I use alarm clocks and things like that. I rode my bike to work today. Yesterday, I crashed because it was super icy. Today, I did not. Even though it was super sloppy, I didn't crash. When I ride my bike to work, I either crash or I don't. Is it 50-50? No. It's binomial because I either crash or I don't. It's not 50-50 though, because thank goodness, I crash fewer times than I don't. I would say my crash rate is probably like a 0.0199.99 or something like that. I do crash sometimes, but not too often. Hell, walking to my office today. There's a good example of a binomial. Walking to my office, I can either get here without falling flat on my face or fall flat on my face. I did not. It's binomial. I either fall flat on my face or I don't. But the chance of me falling flat on my face is much less than the chance of not falling flat on my face. So, lots of things in life are binomial. Two things can happen. I would actually say almost everything in life is binomial. Either something happens or it doesn't happen. But hardly anything in life is 50-50. Outside of flipping a coin, there's not much that actually is exactly 50-50. That's what the back part of this lab is going to explore. If it's not 50-50, how do you actually find out what it is? Read on to find out.